Make sure we got this. Thank you. I assume, Dawson, that was you that pulled the movie news?
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
And
It's a light week, but
thank you
we
for
got something.
including the news that you knew I would be most excited about. That's
It's
awesome.
got a segue.
Yes, it does. I see the segue. It's very nice.
It's the only reason why it's in the news.
Is that spelled with a Z?
Yeah.
Like, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I've never watched it. So.
Oh, you were missing out, brother.
Am I? Am I missing out?
Phenomenal.
Phenom.
Ask everyone. Season 2's got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, what are we talking about?
You mean all 3 episodes?
The Boys.
The Boys. I just finished the first episode.
2 tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it tonight too.
I am not.
Missing out, dude.
I mean, I might
You
watch
are
it
missing
eventually. I might watch it eventually. I probably will, because of the news that is in the news this week. So hold on, let me see if you guys can hear this.
Yes.
Okay, it's just my test sound,
Can you pick
Everyone's
another
favorite.
clip to test sounds?
Sure.
Sticky laugh, snoring, you goddamn farts. You
Is that one better?
Yes.
I'll probably use the other one again next week, but
Hey, I pulled.
okay.
I got audio from Tenet.
Oh.
I am so glad that you said that too, because I
No
was worried that
spoilers.
it was just me, and I've seen other people say it as well. So actually, I'm not glad to hear you
Yeah,
say
I know.
that. My video and audio is way out of sync. That sucks. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Okay.
We'll do it live.
I don't give a fuck. All
We're
right.
doing it live.
Let me get
Allow
The str-
myself.
the stream going. Episode 276. Bill.
Woo!
And I'm going to find that and symbol one day.
Who's psyched for that Mandalorian season 2 release date?
Well, I need to see the first season before I get psyched about season 2.
Star Wars hype?
I know one guy that's hyped about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great show.
I'm hyped for it.
Well, I know a couple guys that are hyped for it then. I like that. Okay. All right. The tweet went out too. Cool. We're all set up. All's ready to go. Damn
It's
it.
time to check Twitter.
Why not, Rob? People pay money to talk to you.
Yeah, when they send me something, I get to it eventually.
Eventually.
No, you don't. That's like the first message you've sent in there in 6 months, probably. Fucking
I like your
Patreon.
explanation tweet, Brett.
Well, did you scroll back like the 2 previous days? It was like everything that you talked about.
Yeah.
Just each thing that you said, I was like, good lord. I feel like we just talked about that. Why is my video so far off? It's not usually like that. Oh well. Dawson, say something for me so I can...
Big Yeetus!
Now, see, here's the thing. Your audio is usually off from your video, But right now it's perfectly synced up and mine is off.
Perfect synchronization.
So
Give me that back, you bitch.
put that in. Are you playing Fall Guys?
For like 6 more seconds.
I know. He'll be done.
There's too many.
He'll be done quickly.
Hackers, fucking cheaters
Oh.
going around there.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is.
No,
It's
there's
out of
not.
control.
No, it's not. I see maybe one a night.
You're just not good. Get good.
No, that's not. That has nothing to what I'm talking about.
Get good.
Just making an observation.
It's okay, Rob. It's a game for 8-year-olds. I don't like it either.
It's
It is. It's a game for children. I don't
it's
like
a game for children that Dawson can't seem to master. And it makes him angry for some
It
reason.
doesn't make me angry at all. It's just a stupid kids game.
It definitely makes you angry.
Who was more impressed when you told them you had 17 crowns, your kid or your wife? Your kid. Bingo.
My
Child's
wife
game.
doesn't know shit about it.
It's because she doesn't care because it's a kid's game.
You bought it before I did.
To play with my friends.
Your children? Friends?
Did you devote an entire work week into it yet? Oh, yeah, you did.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
The fuck's
I
that
rest
have to
my
do
case.
with it?
I rest my
does
case,
that,
Your Honor.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Because you're a child playing children's game.
See, he's lashing out because he doesn't have a crown. This is who's the childish one here? The guy who wins the game or the guy that lashes out because he can't win the game?
I don't need to
You
win.
guys are speaking a bunch of Greek right now to me. It's all Greek.
It's not Greek. You understand the concept of trying to win a game and not being able to and it upsetting you. You understand that.
Talking about crowns and
Crowns are the in-game currency that you win for winning it. Holy shit. All right. Well, that was something.
Hey, you know those like pinwheel things that people have been tweeting about with, all the people in like their circle and shit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that I'm like absent from a lot of those.
Because you don't tweet.
Because you don't tweet.
Because nobody likes you.
It's generated
It's all
by
about-
a system. It's not people choosing their circles.
How come when Reggie put his out, I was like in his inner circle and shit?
Probably because you're in his tweets more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mentions you in his shit. You don't interact with anyone. That's why you're not in their circles.
That's how it's all generated, is by interactions.
Yeah.
Maybe if
And
you
because you interact with, Cinema Chat, and I interact with Cinema Chat and tweet about Cinema Chat. then
no,
that's
it's
how you got
because
there.
it's because you at him
Yeah.
in your tweets. Not because he's tweeting at you. It's because you're adding
Right,
him.
right. That's what I meant.
Other people don't at him anymore because he's never on Twitter.
It's not my fault.
It's the definition of your fault.
Yeah, that thing is like goes off like every 2 seconds.
You can turn notifications off.
It's
Well,
not.
that's what I have it off.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I
but
don't
if you
see the notifications.
yeah, but if you turn it off, it would behoove you to like open the app occasionally.
Well, that's what I do. I open it like every couple of days.
Okay.
I wish you weren't a liar.
True.
Dawson left. I was getting ready to start, but now I'm gonna wait on Dawson. All right. All right. Let's get going. 3, 2. It's Rob and Brent and my Reggie dude, and don't forget it also features Dawson too. We gonna give you all the dope reviews, but first we'll hit on all the movie news. Cha-ching, cha-ching, box office due. In between the news and the reviews, there's not a lot that we don't do, so turn the volume up, cause we coming through. Put your headphones on and tie your shoes. Jackman and Grant, we got all the views. We're like Brando in Godfather 2. We're gonna make a podcast you can't refuse. This is the Cinema Chat Podcast, and we know a lot about movies. Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's another episode of Cinema Chat Podcast with Rob and Brent and Reggie, featuring Dawson. I'm Brent.
I'm Rob.
I'm Reggie.
And I'm featuring Dawson.
Nailed that shit. Nailed
Now you gotta
that shit.
say, I'm the featured Dawson.
Okay. I'll try that next time.
Like, I'm the captain now? Is that what you're going for?
Look at me. Look at me. Come on. All right. This week, we are going to finally talk about the long-awaited, much-anticipated Bill and Ted Face the Music. That's right. Not Tenet. Bill and Ted Face the Music, motherfucker. That's what we're talking about this week. That's what we're reviewing. And, you know, before we get there, we always have this question that we like to ask everyone. So I'm going to ask you guys a question in just a minute. What did we watch this week? Let us give you a peek. We'll get to the news real soon. First, listen to this little tune. Give us the attention we seek while we tell you what we watched this week. Tell them, Rob. What did you see? Tell them. They want to know. That's right, Constancio D. We did nail that shit. Rob, what'd you watch this week?
Yeah. I put it in the WhatsApp group.
Well, the listeners to the podcast are not privy to the text that we put into that WhatsApp group. So it would be useful if you would participate in the podcast in a way that would allow the people listening to understand what's going on.
I saw the Guns Akimbo Daniel Radcliffe feature on Netflix.
And what'd you think of it?
I thought it was a blatant ripoff of Scott Pilgrim Saves the World.
I'm sorry, I can't get over him saying I put it in the WhatsApp. Like, you guys already know what I watched. Why are you asking me? I already told you what I watched.
No, I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember, so I was basically asking you guys to.
You wanted us to tell you what you watched this week?
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you watched blah blah blah.
I got you. I understand now. Am I the only person on this show now that hasn't seen that movie?
No, I've not seen it.
You haven't seen it, okay. I know Reggie hates that movie, right?
Yeah, it was a garbage movie.
Garbage?
Garbage.
Sounds a little strong. I feel like you just made up a word right there.
What? Horror bad?
Horror bad?
Yeah.
You creating
It's
words now? It's not a word.
It's a word people use. Horror bad.
You certainly don't use it if you only open Twitter once a week. You're not using horror bad. So you thought it was a ripoff of what, Rob? I'm sorry. I was laughing whenever you said it.
Scott Pilgrim Saves the World.
So I haven't seen it. I will defer to Reggie. Reggie, do you agree with that comparison?
I don't know. Like, how in what way would you say it was?
Like with the gaming graphics and like
stylistically.
Okay. I see what you're saying with
he's
the
trying to
the aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. And also, he's like trying to save the girlfriend, and the girlfriend.
Okay.
That's very similar to that movie as well.
Okay, I see I can see it. Yeah. All I will say is it's a horrible movie. I hated every minute of it, and it was just like, I don't know. It reminded me of Crank 2, kind of in a way.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but like not a good version. It actually, you know what it reminds me of? It almost reminds me of Crank and that movie they did with it was all in like first person.
Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very low budget, and they filmed it in New Zealand. So it's like very weird filming location.
A lot of things film in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, but they were trying to like pass it off like New York City or something.
I mean, productions all over the place do that shit. So that's, they didn't film Batman in Gotham City. So,
What?
spoiler alert, shocker, I know. I feel like I need to.
Kind of along those vein, Black Panther was not filmed in Wakanda.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
Found that out the hard way. I tried
Shit.
to book a ticket to Wakanda.
That shit looks so realistic. Alright, I feel like I need to watch Guns Akimbo now because Reggie talked so poorly about it. And mostly because I want to come on this show and talk about how it's not that bad at all, and I give it a 7.5. Because that's what people do with bad movies now when they want to troll someone, right, Dawson?
Nope, not at all. I might like it. I'll watch it. I got nothing else to do.
Reggie, what'd you watch this week?
Not much of anything really. My week has been a bit hectic, so I haven't really had a chance to watch anything. I've just been watching Legend of Korra because I didn't finish that, so I've kind of been binge watching that. But other than that, some TV stuff, Lovecraft Country. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. Dawson?
Pretty busy week. I watched both seasons of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This week. Absolutely loved it. Second season was a little more like WB TV, where it's like more drama, kid drama, but it has a very intense ending. I didn't see that coming. And so it was great. If you liked Karate Kid, you have to watch it. It's on Netflix now. Season 3 is coming soonish. So we watched that. I started The Boys today, two episodes. It's great. Can't go wrong with The Boys, season 2. And then I saw Tenet this week.
Which we were going to talk about in a special Cinema Chat episode that'll be in addition to this one. We're actually going to do our cutting room floor. And now that Reggie's here, it kind of throws a wrench in my plans. Because our plan was to do a review of Tenet, but like tack on like extra chit chat for cutting room floor, and then release just the Tenet part to the main feed. So we can talk about that after we're done here. Reggie showed up unexpected. Not that he's not welcome on his own show, but hi, Reggie. Didn't know you were going to be here.
Yeah.
I really haven't watched much of anything this week. I'm in finals mode as my classes hit finals next week. And then every waking moment that I have not being a parent or doing school or doing a podcast is spent playing Fall Guys. So I'm basically like the number one player in the world. So 17 crowns, holler if you hear me.
Big time stuff.
Big Papa Pump, all that shit.
Elaborate to the listeners that don't know, like what classes are you taking?
I am in school for a business management degree. I had an associate's degree and, went to like a technical school, got an associate's degree, and then sort of didn't use it. Been moving around, had one job for 8 years, been in this job for 4 or 5 years. Not sure how much longer this job is going to last. So going back to school for some business management stuff, get a bachelor's so that I'm more marketable should I need to re-enter the job market in a couple of years. So just taking a couple classes each semester, working my way towards it. Should be done by the end of next year, I think end of 2021. So parent, student, podcaster,
Crown champion,
employee, and all around Fall Guys champion. My plate's pretty busy these days. It's pretty busy. Taking intro to religion right now. What's up? It's so stupid, dude. I don't register for my classes. I just let them do like a courtesy registration. So I just take whatever they give me. And my elective this semester was Intro to Religion. And I've never been less engaged in a class in my entire life. Do not care. Just doing what I need to do to get an A and move on. But that'll be done next week. So plan on watching some shit or winning some more crowns in Fall Guys next week.
Maybe both.
Maybe both. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see if we have time. All right, you guys ready for some movie news?
Yeah, movie news.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Thank you.
Cindy, the news is on.
Insightful.
Good news.
If the headline is big enough, it makes the news big enough.
Timely.
The news goes on for 24 hours a day.
Well prepared.
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Well, I got some bad news for you.
Do you want the Aladdin news or the Aladdin news?
The Aladdin news?
This is movie news.
Movie news is brought to you by me because I prepared for the episode, and we've got some really not a huge week in news. Just a couple things. The Batman was shut down for a day while Robert Pattinson tested positive for COVID-19. The production has resumed, I guess, yesterday. With moving on, they've got like 11 more weeks of shooting, so they got to get it done. Yeah, so production was shut down.
I'm confused. I don't know what this COVID-19 is you speak of.
Sorry.
The notes say he tested positive for renovations.
It's technical. The technical term is renovations. I just call it COVID because it's fun.
It's a weird word that you just said.
It is. It's a weird. Sorry, it doesn't exist. But yeah, so there's that. I don't think it's going to delay the release of the movie. But yeah, I don't know. What do you want?
Well, Robert Pattinson. You just pulled a Tom Cruise. You got production shut down. Way to go. Maybe next time wear a cowl that has a mask attached to it. I don't know.
It's possible, and they could just CGI over it.
CGI it away. It didn't kind of work for a mustache.
Just like the mustache, they'll just do it for his mouth. And then, what could possibly go wrong? I guess Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. It's a Netflix original movie with Dave Bautista, which hasn't come out yet. I know it's coming. It's like next year. It's already got a prequel film in the works and an anime series signed on by Netflix. So Netflix is kind of going in deep on Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead before anything comes out about it.
So there's going to be a movie, a prequel movie, and an anime?
That's correct. They're trying to make a franchise out of it.
I just looked it up, and it says it's a zombie heist movie.
It's a zombie heist movie. Yeah, I think it's based in Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken.
I like zombies. I love heist movies.
I love Dave Bautista.
Right? Yeah, I love Dave Bautista.
And Zack Snyder, Dawn of the Dead from 2005 is one of my favorite movies. So
yes.
It's pretty good.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to shit on it until I see it. Yeah. After a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble, venturing into the quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted.
The ultimate gamble, really?
Mm-hmm. That's the synopsis.
In Vegas.
Okay, but if they're planning on doing a franchise, why do a prequel?
Why do you sound like you just dialed in from a Motorola Razr?
I don't know.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you. It just sounds like you're coming in over like a terrestrial phone line.
I don't know. I can't tell you why that is.
Uh-oh. Maybe your brother's like watching Netflix or something.
Now I can't hear anybody.
Torrenting porn.
Yeah.
Technology, everyone. Love it. While he's trying
It'll give the origin story of Dave Bautista and his rescue crew during the initial fall of Las Vegas. So that's what the Army of the Dead Las Vegas, the prequel movie, will be about.
So do we get to see like a dystopian Las Vegas? Because that would be kind of cool.
That's what it sounds like. It's a zombie apocalypse. The movie takes place in Las Vegas. A zombie plague hits Vegas, and they're able to contain the virus into the city. They build a wall out of shipping containers, and then the city falls. And 6 years later, one of the casino owners hires this group of zombie soldiers to go get his money that he left in the safe of the casino.
Wait, the people performing the heist are zombies?
I think it's just like they're called zombie soldiers. Like
Zombie soldiers.
Oh,
they could probably go out and they could mop them up. They know what they're doing.
So they're fighting against the zombies.
Yeah.
They're soldiers who are fighting against zombies. They are not zombies who are soldiers.
No.
Okay. That's a big distinction to make.
It is. So yeah. So look for that next year on Netflix.
Reggie, you don't sound great, but we're gonna soldier on. So what was it you were wanting to say?
I was saying, if they're planning on doing 2 movies, why not make a prequel the first movie, and the sequel, the original movie, the sequel?
I mean,
Right.
probably because are they already in production for the
Oh yeah.
the first one?
Yeah. I think they're probably close to being done with it. It might be like early 2021 we get it. So
It's like
But
that there was a Chuck Norris movie that did that, where they made the original and then they made the sequel, but the sequel was the prequel. But they knew they were making them the whole time. It was weird. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I don't get it. It is weird to have a prequel lined up for a movie that's already like hasn't even come out yet.
might have been one of those things too, like maybe Zack Snyder had it laid out and maybe Netflix looked at the two and they're like, let's go with this route and then see how it takes off. So maybe we like this story more. Zack Snyder probably doesn't think that far ahead. I don't know, but
It's like saying George Lucas had all 9 Star Wars movies planned out.
he did.
Did he?
I think so. Well, hey, speaking of Star Wars, I didn't have this in the notes, and you brought it up, but John Boyega went off this week on Disney and Star Wars.
Oh boy, did he!
And yeah, I mean, it's good. It's great. It's good to get his voice out, let him be heard. I'd be pissed too because I thought Finn was going to be a Jedi. Like they're hyping him up with the lightsaber, and then he kind of does disappear in the second movie, and then in the third movie, he's just, he's just a piece. But it's just like I don't know. I agree. I'd be pissed off too, and it's cool to see him stand out, and hopefully other actors will all do the same and to kind of stand up and be like, look, don't market us just to play us up and sell tickets. So
Yeah.
good on John Boyega.
He has every right to be upset with the treatment of that character, because I have a feeling that that's not the arc that they pitched him whenever they brought him on.
Just blame J.J. Abrams.
There you have it. Just blame
I agree.
J.J. Abrams.
Because, I mean, here's the thing. Disney had done that before. Well, not done that before, but, I mean, they did it also in Rise of Skywalkers when they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to have the first openly gay character in Star Wars. And it was like some woman who gave a kiss to somebody that if you blinked, you missed it. And it was just like they hyped it up and then didn't do anything. And then same thing with Kelly Marie Tran's character. It's just like, it's disappointing when they're just doing it. Like, if you're going to do it for the views and for the money, and because inclusion is a big deal now, then, at least include these people for reals.
I agree with you completely. And I was glad that he said it, because a lot of people think it and don't say it. And, a lot of actors are scared to say stuff like that. And I think what you've seen specifically with him, given current social issues, and what he just said recently about Disney, is that I feel like he feels like he has nothing to lose almost. And whenever he spoke up at those rallies against police brutality, he had a lot of Hollywood and directors had his back. And they're like, I want to put you in my next movie, blah, blah, blah. So I think that he feels maybe a safety based off of that other actors haven't felt historically. And I hope that whenever people see him speak out, and I hope that it doesn't negatively affect his career. I hope that people follow through and get him set up in roles coming forward and he gets to show what he can do. But I hope that other actors and other people that see that your career doesn't have to end just because you speak out against something that you believe in. And even if it does, sometimes it's still the right thing to do. And it'll hopefully make it better for people moving forward. But I feel like we constantly say like it's almost like one step forward, two steps back sometimes. With Hollywood and inclusivity. So remains to be seen what sort of will come out of that. But I'm glad to see people standing up for what they believe in, certainly, for sure.
Awesome.
You guys segue off of that, bitch?
I can't really segue off of that. Besides, we talked about episode 8, 7, 8, 9. We can talk about episodes 1, 2, and 3 of The Boys, which came out on Friday. It's not a movie, but it's superheroes, and it's basically a movie just drawn out. So if you have Amazon Prime, you should be watching The Boys. I didn't know they were doing this. If you guys knew they're releasing these now, they did 3 episodes to start the season, and they're going to do weekly episodes. I don't know why. I thought it was all going to be here so I could binge watch it this weekend, but yeah, it bums me out that they're doing that. I hope more streaming services don't do this. I don't want to wait 10 weeks to watch a season anymore.
He texted me and told me it was bullshit. It's bullshit that they're releasing it this way.
It is. It's bullshit. It's like
it is because they haven't done this for anything else that I can think of. Like everything else on Amazon is all at once. Like you can watch it at your own pace. And like I guess Disney kind of is stretching some of their stuff out. Actually, I take that back. The only show that is weekly on Amazon is the car show with the guys from Top Gear, the Grand Tour, I think it's called.
Yeah,
but still, that's different. But yeah, so like I don't know why they're doing it like that.
Well, the only thing I can think of is like they're drawing out viewers, keeping people interested, getting advertisements in for their next series, and then that's the only thing I can think of.
There's a couple of things that I think could be at play here. One is that they're testing the format to sort of see what the response is, what the viewership is of it over the course of this season, to sort of see if that model works better than the binge format. And 2, if it's like everyone else, they probably don't have a ton of content in the pipeline due to like production shutting down. So maybe they want to stretch out some of the biggest content that they have, so that people have something to watch while they're not maybe releasing as much as they typically would release during a certain period of time.
That makes sense.
I don't know that that's the case, but I think it could be.
It also ties to, I think, just how big the first season was, and this season it's like we're just going to milk this one and get, have people talk about it every week instead of over this weekend and then kind of forget about it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
I think you just don't like it.
Here's some more bullshit from a bullshit movie. Speaking of The Boys, star Jack Quaid is going to be in Scream 5 in an unknown role. So,
I don't know why you just did that like that.
I don't know either.
But
here we are.
A bullshit movie. Just because I disagree with your statement on Amazon Prime's handling of The Boys Season 2, you feel the need to fucking throw a dirty ass elbow at me like you're Chris Paul. I don't know what. Now you're deleting it out of the fucking news. What are you doing?
I'm not even going to talk about it now because I don't care anymore.
You're like my best friend, and you are attacking me personally. Like this is.
Rob's gonna fall asleep. Let's go.
Neither the time
Stop yelling at me.
That's not nice, guys.
Sorry, I had to wake Rob up if he's gonna fall asleep, or just play that in there. No, I'm excited. I'm gonna watch The Boys now. because I have to familiarize myself with Jack Quaid in order to get prepared for his role in Scream 5, which is my most anticipated movie of 2022 at this point. So
2022?
2022, January 2022, Scream 5. We're reviewing. If I had a 2022 schedule, I'm going to create a 2022 schedule on our spreadsheet just so I can put Scream 5 in there, so that you guys know when that week comes, we're reviewing it. And maybe the 3 or 4 weeks before that, we'll just do the whole franchise. So you can live through all the bullshit, Dawson. Fucking cock knocker.
Hey, take it easy, man.
All right, moving on.
Somebody added this in. Jason Statham is playing an MI6 agent in a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, I saw that. Teaming back up with Guy Ritchie. He's going to be a fucking MI6 agent. Seems like a recipe for success to me. I don't know about you guys. Probably the best piece of casting news that I've heard since Jack Quaid in Scream 5.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I don't know much about this one besides it's there. Outside of that, we do have another section of news we haven't had in a really long time, and it's got its own section. I don't know.
Do.
You want to do box office? You want to do box office?
Box office.
Box office results for the weekend of August 28th through August 30th. The first time we've had box office in a long time. And number one with a motherfucking bullet, making $7 million with a fucking M. $7 million, Reggie. The New Mutants. It came out. It came out.
Okay.
You were wrong. It made $7 million at the box
Number
office.
one movie at
They
the
said it
number
came
one movie
out.
at the box. Number one movie at the box office.
Number one movie at the box office for the weekend of August 28th through the 30th. Suck it. Okay? You were wrong. I'm hostile. Dawson's got me all hostile.
Good. Let the fate consume you.
No. Can we rewind to the segue where he said we talked about episodes 7, 8, and 9? Now we can talk about episodes 1, 2, and 3 of The Boys. Like,
Hey.
fucking brilliant. But anyways, New Mutants was number one at 7 million. Number two, Unhinged, 2.6 million. Number three, the movie that we are reviewing this week, Bill and Ted Face the Music at $1.1 million. Number four, The Personal History of David Copperfield, $475,000. And number five, Words on Bathroom Walls, $449,000. Not used to saying the word thousand in box office. I don't know if you guys know this. Not a lot of people go into the movies these days. Dawson flirted with going to a theater. I don't know if he wants me to say that.
Yeah, no, I was very close. I was going to see if I could go see the New Mutants this morning, just to see it, to get out of my house. I'm alone this weekend, so I wanted to get out and see it. But I kept refreshing, and there was a couple tickets sold to the first showing, so I'm like, nah, I don't want to go see it. And then I saw the reviews, or user reviews, and it's very teeny. It's like a teen movie, very teen driven. Yeah, that's not really for me.
It's not what you're looking for. It's not your
I don't
thing?
know that I need to see that. I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus in 2 months, 3 months.
Speaking of Disney Plus, Reggie, you said you were planning on watching Mulan?
Yeah, we're having a watch party next Friday, and we're gonna watch Mulan. Or this Friday. It's coming up Friday.
So you're not going to be in our watch party?
Oh yeah, no, probably not.
God damn, the way he said that. Oh yeah, no, probably not. Not going to be there. Not going to fucking be there. Don't care. All right, well, that does it for the box office. I guess I'm not used to leading into the feature presentation from box office anymore. But are you guys ready for the feature presentation?
Yes, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
And now, our feature presentation.
Bill and Ted Face the Music, the first brand new theatrical release we've done since renovations. It's directed by Dean Parasol. I don't know how, Parasol. I don't know how you say it. Written by Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon, starring Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter as Bill and Ted, Kristen Shaw, Samara Weaving, Bridget Lundy Payne, William Sadler, Kid Cudi, and a whole bunch of other people. So, this is a sequel. Like 30 years in the making? It's been almost 30 years since Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey took place. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bogus Journey. Bogus Journey. Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey, Face the Music. That's the order. 1, 2, 3. But yeah, 30 years nearly in between the three of them. We recently watched the first two in preparation for this. Well, some of us did. And I'm glad that I did because it sort of gave me, it allowed me to better remember the feel of those movies and the performances by Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. And I think that was helpful. Okay. Since you threw me off, Rob, can you explain to me why you just said yikes in the chat?
No reason.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, if you're gonna, maybe, I don't know. It popped up. It threw me off. I didn't understand it, so I thought I'd just ask you. But yeah, it allowed me to remember their performances, and I think that really helped going into this. I didn't have high expectations for it, but I'll just tell you, from my perspective, it sort of had the feel of the other ones. I think they did a good job replicating a movie that they hadn't done in 30 years with actors that look old as fuck in this movie.
You got that right. That's like the first thing that you come away is like, man, Keanu Reeves is old.
I don't know what it is about this movie that makes him look so old.
Exactly, because he does not look this old in like John Wick or any other movies that he's done recently, and he looks like time did him rough.
Is he like,
he didn't age well?
Is he like out of shape?
He shaved his beard, that's why.
Usually shaving your beard makes you look younger, but that might be it.
Yeah. If I shaved my beard, I would look so weird.
Huh.
But you know he
shaving your beard makes you look younger. Like,
he dyes his beard, if you didn't know, because it's mostly gray.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks really old in this. Almost so different from how he originally looks that when Dawson said maybe it was makeup, I was like, maybe it is makeup because he doesn't normally look that way.
I wonder if it was makeup too, because I wonder if it was just one of those. He looks so much younger than
Alex Winter.
Alex Winter that maybe it just was. You put them together, it looks a bit disconcerting. Maybe.
I don't know, man. The way he looked was disconcerting to me.
Yeah.
It threw me off a bit. I will say. The movie takes place, it centers around them. They're supposed to write this song that's going to bring the world together. And it follows them and their daughters, Thea and Billy, Bill and Ted, if you will. And I think that I think that the girls did a good job. I think specifically Billy. I don't know who that actress is. Bridget Lundy Payne. I think she did a pretty good job of like sort of mimicking what Keanu Reeves did as Bill in the first couple of movies. I think that she fit the movie better than Samara Weaving, that budget version of Margot Robbie. I think you called her, Dawson.
Yeah, that's the second question I had coming out of this movie is like, do people in California still talk like that, or what?
No, they don't.
No, they're lost in time, dude. Like, Bill and Ted are a product of their time. They never grew out of it. And
yeah, but I mean, the daughters
love
talk
that.
like that too.
Yeah, because their dads do. Like they picked it up.
Their daughters talk like that because that's just how they think people. That's a movie thing. No kid talks like their parent like that.
I bet you Rob's kid says Mark Wahlberg.
Dude, I don't care if it's a movie thing.
Come
We're talking about this as a movie. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the motivation for the character speaking that way. Like I don't care if it's realistic. I'm just talking about like why it is that way in the movie. I don't go to the movies to see realism. Get out of here. I'm going to escape reality. I need realism.
Yeah, I guess.
But I liked both Bill and Ted and their daughters. I liked. You making fun of me for talking with my hands now? I like both sets. But I think where the movie shines is with a couple of the side characters. Most notably, what's the robot's name? I can't remember.
Dennis Caleb McCoy.
Dennis is phenomenal. He's my favorite part of the whole movie. Whenever he gets going, sort of in the second half of the movie, I want more Dennis. Like, give me all the Dennis. He's fantastic. I am talking very positively about this movie. And part of the reason I'm talking so positively about this movie is I am performing a preemptive strike on what I believe is going to be Reggie's heel turn on this episode of the podcast. Reggie, I came into this expecting you to shit on this a little bit based on some statements that you had made. So, go ahead. What are some of the things you didn't like about the movie? Or maybe you loved everything. Maybe you're going to turn on me this time.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I did not like this movie. It wasn't good. It was just bad. I don't know. Like if ever there was a movie that didn't need to exist, it was kind of this movie. That being said, giving it some distance, I think if you're a fan of Bill and Ted, this was a movie made for the fans. And if you're a fan of that, then you will enjoy this.
Okay,
if you have a lot of love and nostalgia for that, you're going to enjoy this. That being said, I don't, so it wasn't made for me. It's not a good movie. And I think if you're a fan, you can objectively say that it may be a fun movie. It may be enjoyable. It may have taken you back to the things that you loved about Bill and Ted. But I would hope that even a fan would objectively be able to say that this is not a good movie.
Okay, so that was going to be my question was, are you a fan of Bill and Ted? And you answered that. And I will say this, as a fan of Bill and Ted myself, objectively, the first two movies aren't good movies, but they are fun. They're fun movies.
Yes,
I enjoy them. This is exactly what I wanted out of a Bill and Ted movie. Like, it is a Bill and Ted movie. I thought that they did an amazing job recreating what's so enjoyable about the first two. Like you say, it was made for the fans. Yeah, I guess so. I think that there's a lot of Bill and Ted fans. I think there's a lot of people that really like those movies. But if you're looking at them objectively, like I don't think any of them are good in the traditional sense.
Right. But like the first Bill and Ted came out, it came out in '89, so I was 8. You know, like, so yeah, I loved it when I was an 8-year-old, but I'm not gonna show 38-year-old Reginald that same movie and be like, enjoy this, you know. And that's really what they did. They made, like, there are 30 years almost in between these movies, and nothing, like, they didn't change. I don't know, like, if this movie had been 2-3 years after the last Bill and Ted movie, you know, it might be different, you know, like I might enjoy it more or something. But it's like you made I don't know, like they just made a movie that wasn't good from a series that wasn't good. And I guess if you're all about that, then, you know, I can understand. But like the acting, the plot was meandering, and it felt like, it kind of felt like the daughters should have been the focal point of this movie, because they seemed to be doing the heavy lifting. But then they were like, oh, yeah, but this is called Bill and Ted, so we're going to throw in this Bill and Ted thing. And it could have been fun watching them bounce through time and meet different versions of themselves, but it was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that should have been a multiverse story instead of a time travel story. Because I can't imagine how far gone I would have to be to try and fuck over my past self.
But isn't it kind of a multiverse story, specifically at the end? In the elevator?
Nah, I think it's still a time story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a specific...
Debatable.
Rob, I wanted to ask you about your previous thoughts heading into this about the Bill and Ted franchise. Like, whenever you went to go see Excellent Adventure and you left the theater and you drove away in your car, like, what were you thinking?
Well, when I walked away from the theater,
and you got in your car, you turn the ignition, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go to my house and make my mortgage payment. Like, what were your thoughts?
No. I was still in high school when that came out.
What are you a fan of the franchise?
Yeah, I do. I should say I did enjoy the franchise. It was like very 80s, you know, Valley, you know, surfer kind of vibe that was still kind of going on at that time. And the second one took it to the next level. I think I liked the second one better than the first one. And but they came like pretty close to each other, but then you have like this big jump between those two and this one. And then I think it would have been better if they would have done the follow-up a lot sooner than wait until now to do the third film.
I mean, they've been trying to make this movie since 2000.
Jesus
and there
Christ! What?
Take it easy over there. And there were some delays. But they've had the script basically done since 2000. So it just took forever to do it, and then I think they officially started on in 2019. So there we go.
That's a fact.
You know, it was so long after Alex Winter's last acting role that he actually took acting classes to get ready for this role again, and you can tell.
That's a fact.
Okay.
Okay.
I can tell.
I would argue that the character of Ted might be the most acting Keanu Reeves has ever done. Because at least there is some personality in that character that is clearly not Keanu, because Keanu is the most boring person in the world. So I would argue, while
Keanu Reeves is a boring person?
Yeah, kind of. Have you
He
watched
runs his own motorcycle shop? Are you kidding me?
Okay. Have you
Doesn't mean he has
watched
personality?
Have you If you've listened to his interviews, like, he's stale. I'm not saying he doesn't have interesting things going on, but the motherfucker is dry as shit. He is. And the fact that he does a character like Ted, like, that is more acting than fucking John Wick, Constantine, The Replacements, like, whatever the fuck bullshit Keanu Reeves role you want to talk about. I would argue that he's acting more whenever he's in Bill and Ted than any other movie that he's ever been in.
What do you think about him in Devil's Advocate?
What am I hearing right now?
It is the
Devil's
biggest.
Advocate.
It is the biggest departure from him as a person than any of his roles. Give me a role that's a bigger departure from how he really is than Ted.
So you think he's more like John Wick than Bill or?
Yeah, I do.
What about when he was in Devil's Advocate?
I think that he slays demons on the reg. Like, I don't think that's like some hidden secret. So not a stretch.
Like, here's the thing. Like, they are acting. I guess you could call it acting, but they're acting like back.
Damn, the shade. The shade.
Intentional. What?
The shade that's being thrown right now.
Because here's the thing. It's like they're not good actors, and they know they're not good actors. So they're intentionally being bad actors and acting like they're bad acting is a decision. And I can't stand that.
Well, let me rewind what you just said. You said they're choosing to act poorly.
What I mean is, like, they're not even trying to act. They're not even trying to be good actors or to whatever. I
think you you underestimate how difficult it is to pull off bad acting.
No, I understand how bad acting, how you can pull off bad acting in a good way and make it like for instance in the James Franco movie about
the Disaster Artist.
Disaster Artist. That's how you are a bad actor in a good way. That's how you're bad. That's how you act to be a bad actor, as opposed to them being like, "Hey, we're just gonna do our thing, and we're not even gonna try to be good actors because our fans don't want good. Our fans don't want a good job. They want us to just have fun with this. Roll camera."
See the difference in what you're talking about with the Disaster Artist and Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted, the characters they're playing are morons. They are idiots. They are acting as if they are idiots. In The Room, he is playing a fucking real human being with real emotions, and there is, whether or not he's bad acting or not, there's depth to that character. The characters of Bill and Ted are extremely one-dimensional characters. There's not a lot to them. They're idiots. They're what's up, bruh? They're everything you think they are. But the performance that Franco had, there's depth to that character that you can work with. They're not interested in making Bill and Ted characters of depth, and quite frankly, that's not what I want in a Bill and Ted movie anyway. So I think the fact that you compare that, I think that's like apples to oranges, right?
That might be fair. But I don't know. Yeah, I would expect some sort of level of acting if you're gonna do this, and it just seems like it chose not to act. And as somebody who watches movies, I found that just a little bit insulting. But again, I'm not the target audience, so
I also think that you're putting yourself in the business of deciding what acting is, which is an interesting thing for you to do. Because I think that they are acting. I think that they're making a choice. They're playing characters. They've played them the same way in which they did in the past. Like, it's a faithful recreation of what they've done previously. I just don't think that it's like, quote, not acting. Like, they're just out there speaking lines or whatever. Like, there's plenty of acting involved in it. Now, I stick by my statement that I think that he might actually be acting more in this movie than he does in his other stuff. There's not a lot of acting in John Wick. It's a lot of cool shit where he's staring menacingly and doing
more
cool
of an
fights.
action movie.
Like there's not a lot of acting there. Like there's not in a lot of his movies. There's not a lot of acting, and that's by design. Like that, he takes roles that hide his acting, which is why.
So what we're saying is Keanu Reeves is a bad actor, and you think that even now this is acting. This is him being good.
This is him giving more effort, in my opinion. Because I think those other roles, he doesn't have to do a lot. I think that he actually has to do something to be Ted. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just say the lines as Ted. But with John Wick, he could just lower the register of his voice and put some gravel in it and give like a little stare. And I still think that's acting. Like, it's not Keanu, he's John Wick, but I think that he has to put more effort into being Ted than he does John Wick.
You know what? This might go to what I'm saying. The daughters, I think, had to act to be that bad. They had to do work to be that bad. I don't think Keanu and Bill Winter had to do much acting to be that bad.
Alex Winter.
Bill Winter. I don't think they had to do much acting to be that bad.
But do you think that Keanu didn't have to do much acting because he's made you believe over the years that that's kind of the dude that he is? Like, maybe you think that he's close to that? Like, if you were going to talk to him, it's not such a far departure? Because I think it's a wild departure from what he is. I think that you're underestimating the amount of work that they put into this. That's what I'm saying. And we've spent a lot more time talking about the acting in this than I ever thought we would have. But yeah, I think so. I think that's the case, and I agree with you. I think that the I don't know. Maybe the girls did have to do more. I don't know. I don't know what their typical personalities are or whatnot. But you always talk about how
we saw her in the horror movie.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I've seen her in.
Right, but I mean, you take that character. She had to act in that to pull that movie off.
Which movie?
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. I'm not saying she's not a good actress. I'm
Do
just
you guys
saying.
know how she got the role for this movie?
Oh, you're about to tell me though.
Do you know who her uncle is?
Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's.
Hugo Weaving from The Matrix.
That's a fact.
Oh.
You think nepotism? You think that's how she got this role?
Well, I mean, she won the role after Keanu Reeves found out that she was the niece of Hugo Weaving. So.
What?
That's. Samara Weaving won the role of Thea in this role after Keanu Reeves found out that she was the niece of Hugo Weaving.
So she's actually Australian?
Yes, she is. She's from Adelaide, Australia.
Put another shrimp on the barbie.
That's Austrian. That's not Australian.
No, that is Australian. Shrimp on the barbie.
No, it's from Dumb and Dumber.
Hey, she's in Guns Akimbo.
He says, he says, lovely accent, where are you from? And she says she's from Austria. And he says, well, good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie. So, you ever seen Dumb and Dumber?
No.
That is acting. That's acting. Reggie doesn't like fun.
She was in Guns Akimbo?
Yeah.
Oh, she played that crazy killer chick, right?
Haven't seen it.
Don't know. Spoiler alert.
Character's name was Nix.
Yeah, that's her.
Yes, sir.
I don't need to see the movie then.
All right. Anyone else have any other opinions or things that they need to talk about before we give our scores? I didn't mean to eat up so much time, but that was, I think that was a worthwhile conversation to have. Maybe.
I mean, I would just throw in, like, there's a lot of, it was cool to see all the characters come back. But I mean, There's another little tidbit. The princess has been played by 2 different actresses for all 3 movies.
2 different
So it's been, the princesses have never been the same. It's never been the same princesses in all 3 movies. They've all been played by different actresses. So
it's like Aunt Viv and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, it's just different actresses every time. I don't know that they necessarily added too much to this, so they're kind of irrelevant. I kind of called that the daughters are going to be a bigger part of this movie, and like I agree, this movie should have just been them with Bill and Ted having cameos in the background. I think that would have been better to push it. But I like the movie overall. I think Dennis was awesome. The robot was great. He's in the TV show Barry S, and I love that show. He plays Soho Hank, and if you liked him in this, you'd love him in Barry. So it's cool seeing Death come back with like Battleship on his shelf, and just seeing the little pieces and the little nods. I think this was such a good mix of the first 2 movies, and it's a really good close to the series. We're not gonna get a 4th one unless the daughters take over.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do we get at some point a Billy and Thea movie?
I doubt it, because I don't think this is going to make a ton of money.
It probably doesn't have to
might
make
get somebody like a Netflix or Amazon that would make it a spin-off or do something, but I don't see it going anywhere. And especially like the way this is just like the movie ends and it's like, hey, it's over now, we're done. And then there's really, it's like the final scene happens and then it's just over. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. Usually you get like a little bit of a follow-up after the climax of the story, but it's just like, it's done. See ya.
So they spent $25 million on this.
They should have spent some money on that song. What?
Excuse me?
I said they should have spent some money on that song at the end.
What was wrong with the song? You didn't like the song?
It brought everyone together.
Brought the world together, like
through all time.
What kind of fucking prick do you have to be to hate on that? Like, Jesus, Reggie. Man. You know, I would think that something that brought everyone together would be right up your alley, but I guess not. It's not fucking good enough. It's not to your musical satisfaction. All right.
Yeah.
Rob, before you fall asleep on me, what do you give Bill and Ted Face the Music?
Well, I agree with Andy that they did capture the essence of the first 2 movies. I thought that Bill and Ted running into their future selves was hilarious. I thought when they were portraying their future selves, they were doing more acting than they were their present selves. I found that quite enjoyable. I also agree that I think that the 2 girls should have had more of on-screen presence than what they had. I think they just came on like in the 3rd act. They didn't really build up to them very much. And I think the better thing to have done was to have them like build up throughout the movie as Bill, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winters, they were like working their way out of the movie, so they kind of like would take over for them. But I had a few good laughs. It was good to see a lot of the original cast in there. I also thought that the actress, I forget her name, who played Rufus's daughter, I thought she was pretty funny as well. She does a lot of voice acting and a lot of things. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think if you are a fan, I think you should watch it, and I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I think that Rob, Dawson, and myself are all going to be kind of in the same ballpark because everything that Dawson said before we got to the scores, everything that Rob just said, and everything that I've said throughout the episode sort of all meets together in this like Venn diagram. We're like right in the center there. I better not do that. Better not do that too many times with my hands. So I'll just say I agree with Rob. I enjoyed it. I'm a fan of the series, and I had a lot of fun with this. Is it a great movie? No, not in the traditional sense, but they gave me what I wanted. And 30 years after the fact, I never would have thought that they would have been able to deliver on that. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I'm going to deduct points because it has issues and it's not like a great movie. But the heart is there, and I got what I wanted. Like, I did enjoy it. So 7 out of 10 for me also. Dawson. We'll let Reggie go last.
Yeah, we'll let Reggie go last. Go be the lowest score. Same with you guys. I mean, I had some good laughs. I had fun. I like the first 2 movies, so this is a great fit. It's probably my favorite out of the 3. I'll just say that. Yeah. But that doesn't say much, right? Like, the first one's all right. The second one's better, but the second one is still dated just from watching it, and Reggie's not happy. But I like this one. I'd watch it again. I'll watch it again. Yeah. I bought it after we watched it. I bought it. So.
You bought it? I own it as well.
I bought the 3-pack, so I have all 3 movies now. But yeah, no, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It's going to be a fun movie just to kind of put on when I can't find anything else. And so yeah, I'm with you guys. It's a 7 out of 10.
For those of you not watching the video on YouTube of this, Reggie has had his head in his hands multiple times at this point. So, Reggie, so glad that you could join us when you thought we thought you weren't going to be here. Please give the counter to our arguments.
Like I said, if you're a fan of this movie, of the series, then yeah, I'm sure it was made for you, so you will enjoy this. That being said, it's not a good movie. Like, I enjoyed him when I was a kid. I even watched the cartoon show. I've enjoyed Bill and Ted, but how does that phrase go? When I was a kid, I played with toys, and I grew up and put away childish things or whatever. That's how I feel about this movie. It's not a good movie, you guys. And whatever. Like, okay, if you had fun with it, you had fun with it. But if you're not a fan, then there's really nothing here for you. It should not have been about Bill and Ted. It should have been about the daughters, really. And because I felt like there was something there, but I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
You know what I think would happen if they made it about the daughters? And I'm not so sure
people wouldn't watch it.
But I'm also not so sure that this wouldn't even be what you would say. You would say, "Oh, mining an old property so that they can make something new out of it and try to start another franchise." Instead, it's about Bill and Ted. They're sort of rewrapping their story and giving them an end with them as parents and saving the world yet again, or saving the world for the first time. And people are unhappy because it wasn't about the daughters. So I think if they had made it about the daughters, you would have had people that were saying like, "Oh, this is just another play to make money and maybe start a new franchise out of it." But they didn't do that. Yeah. They actually made a Bill and Ted movie instead of a Billy and Thea movie. Not to say we won't get that. Maybe. Who knows?
I guess you shouldn't go decades in between to make a sequel. That's just, I guess, how I feel about it. It's just.
I bet I could find.
I hope this doesn't become a thing.
I bet I could find an example of. I'm not gonna do it right now, but I bet I can find an example of a sequel decades after the original that you enjoy.
Blade Runner 2049.
I didn't like Blade Runner 2049.
You don't like it.
He don't like it, but I bet I can find something.
I could give you one.
Okay, do my job for me.
Fury Road.
There we go.
But that's, well, I don't know if Fury Road. One could argue if that's a sequel.
If Mel Gibson had been in it, would you have liked it?
And I think that's what I'm talking about. That's why you could argue if it's a sequel or not. Because is it a sequel? or is it just like a reboot of the franchise? You know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm with you on that. All right. Well,
but whatever. You know what we didn't talk about, and I can't believe we didn't talk about it?
Oh my gosh, how did we leave this out of the news? As soon as you started saying that, it hit me. How did we not talk about that? Dawson, the guy who put together
well,
movie
I'm
news.
sorry. I didn't. I mean, it was 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, we're recording late, and we usually throw
the
movie news. We usually throw the movie news together right before we record, and we don't really go back more than a couple of days to get it. And this happened a week ago. But Reggie, go ahead.
Yeah, but this happened. Matter of fact, while we were watching Bill and Ted, we found out that Chadwick Boseman had died. He passed away from cancer, and he had been battling it for 4 years, and nobody knew. And it was interesting to me to see, like, throughout the week, it was like watching the internet or like the world kind of mourn together, because like we didn't know it was coming, and then just to see how much, because it felt like we were just getting to know him, as an actor.
Yeah.
And he had, in his short time, he had put out so many amazing movies and performances, and then amazing performances and bringing people's stories to life that we never heard, not necessarily never heard of, but like he brought a gravity and a depth to these people and stories that we often don't get to hear, like Thurgood Marshall and Jackie Robinson and so many other things, and then of course his role as in Black Panther and stuff like that. So it's just it's kind of I'm usually when a celebrity dies, I'm like, oh, that's sad. But like this time, it's one of the few times where I was like, oh, this kind of hits home, because it's like it sucks, because it's just like I feel like he could have been like the next Sidney Poitier or Denzel or something.
Yeah. This one hit differently, and I think it's a combination of him being young, and then also like we didn't know. Came as a shock to me, and it really brought the mood down in the watch party whenever it got announced. But he was sort of to the African American biopic, Reggie, as like Tom Hanks is to the old white guy biopic.
Yeah.
Like I made a joke on our Patreon show a few weeks ago that if they were going to make like biopics of LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant, like they would just have Chadwick Boseman play all of them in all three movies. Like, but yeah, he's a super young guy to fight through cancer for 4 years without letting anyone know, and then all the while making like fantastic movies. I do remember seeing like some pictures of him where he looked a lot skinnier, but didn't really think too much about it. Like didn't really register with me that like, oh, he looks sick or whatever. Like, I don't know if I thought he was doing it for a role or what, but it sort of shows his strength to be able to do that throughout. Like he wanted to have a voice during that time, and he wanted to provide people with an escape and entertainment and all that stuff. Like he felt like that was a calling for him, and he didn't want to jeopardize that, I think. And I think that he was also a fairly private person on top of it. But it sucked to hear that, and sorry that it happened. It did hit a little differently than a lot of these celebrity deaths do, Reggie.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to be reviewing one of his movies next week. Message from the King on Netflix. So we'll see if that's another one of his great performances or not. I've already watched it. We watched it in Watch Party. So, Rob, Reggie, have you seen it?
Yeah. I watched it a couple years ago when it came out.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that next week. Rob, Dawson, you got anything before we go?
Nope.
No, nothing.
Bye, everyone.
You don't need to follow me. You don't need to follow anybody.
But you can follow us. I'm Brent, and I am...
X, not Malcolm.
And he's Rob, and he's
Rob 1.
There's also Reggie, who is
Hit on.
We can't forget about Dawson at
Andy!
Underscore.
Dawson.
Don't forget to follow the podcast at Cinema Chat Pod on Twitter. And check out our website, cinemachatpodcast.podbean.com.
I'm following you now. I'm just going to follow you everywhere. I'm just going to follow you the rest of my life.
Thanks, Peter. Now, if the rest of you would get off your ass and follow us, that would be great.
Mail, motherfucker!
Oh, and don't forget to send your emails to cinemachatpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Please, send us something. Have a good week, everyone. Goodbye. You know, Dawson, it really hurts my feelings whenever you call Fall Guys a children's game. I wish you wouldn't do that because I'm proud of how good I am at it. And when my best friend tells me that it's a game for kids, it bothers me. It hurts my
Game
feelings.
you just running around, jumping over stuff and sliding under stuff.
Yeah, but there's a lot of skill involved. You're muted, by the way, Dawson.
So much skill that an 8-year-old can do it.
And Dawson can't do it. So
I can't
that.
win. I can't win a game. Sorry. I don't have the luck of an 8-year-old.
It's not luck. If it was
I
luck,
didn't have
it wouldn't
I
happen
didn't have
so
my
often.
Lucky Charms for breakfast, Brent.
You still here? It's over.
I try to confide in you.
He's
Go
drinking.
home.
Rob's not going to bed.
You fucking asshole.
I gotta go
Go.
let the dog out. I need like 5-10 minutes.
I'm gonna sleep.